So welcome to the video. This is me in the gorge or Skamania to Home Valley. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to jump on an Epic V14 and a Fenn Elite S, just so you can compare the difference between the two boats. So here's an Epic V14 and here's a Fenn Elite S. So I'm just cruising. This is actually the Monday of the gorge week, where the conditions are pretty good, so the locals tell us. So we had a good solid wind blowing down, so this is just the start of the Skamania to Home Valley run, and it does pick up a little bit in a few minutes. So this is where it starts to pick up a lot better from Skamania to Home Valley. So you can see I'm getting pretty good rides on the waves. I'm not doing a lot of work. Waves are quite easy to catch, but the speed is really generated from pushing through and over the waves. So if you have the power to push over them, great, and the skill to see the gaps and paddle through to the next wave without having to go over them is probably the key to good speed at the gorge. I found the conditions that we had were similar to what we get at Littleton Harbour, my home patch, just because the waves were, there were no ground swell waves or wind chop, so therefore the waves were moving relatively slowly, fairly easy to catch. Had to take your opportunities to push through, and you can power through them if you had the strength. So just some good footage of me doing that downwind run through the best part of that Skamania to Home Valley run. You can also see I don't have a wave deflector on here. In the Fenn there is a fair bit of volume in the nose, so the boat stays fairly dry pushing through the waves, and you can see this quite well in the video. I'm not getting a lot of water over the deck into the cockpit. On race day I wore a wave deflector because I wasn't quite sure what I was going to get. I probably didn't need it, and that was a good 20-25 knots from memory. So some good waves jacking up here, and this is probably about halfway down the Skamania to Home Valley. If you're interested in some online coaching to get into any type of paddling sport, including downwind, downriver, K1 or whatever, I've developed a course online called Grade 1 Paddling. It takes you through some technique, some strength and conditioning and some training. It's interactive with me, so I hold you accountable to the work you need to do. It's to get you to a fundamental level of paddling, and it's only $49 US, and you keep the course forever, so you can go back and use all the course material. Even if you are already a competent paddler, there will be some value in there for you to improve your own technique and to make yourself a better paddler. So check it out. I'll have the link in the description below. So in a moment I'll jump on the Epic V14 and you can see the difference. Unfortunately the video is not quite as clear as this one, but it's all I got. So yeah, have a watch and just see the difference between the Fenn and the Epic V14. So here's a quick picture. Here's me paddling the Epic V14, so you can see it's got a slightly different nose profile, probably a little bit less volume. Really comfortable seat, you definitely feel like you've got a lot more room to move around, and the ski moves great across the waves. I found it was a little bit wetter than the Fenn for me, and that could be just my body weight. So I'm 85 kgs or thereabouts, so I felt like a wave deflector was probably necessary for me on the Epic, even in the smaller conditions. And then next, moving on to the Fenn, so in exactly the same conditions, so literally went out on the Epic and then came back in and went out, same run on the Fenn. On the Fenn, really felt the seat height, or the depth of the rails. I like that because I feel like I'm in the ski, whereas the Epic feel like you have a bit more room. So it really depends on the person, and I guess how wide your hips are. I imagine some people might not fit in the Elite S, and that's probably why they released the Wahoo. But for me, it feels great. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment your thoughts between the two boats. Love to hear your opinions. Cheers.